Hello compatriots, my name is Thomas. This is Aroma Review, side-by-side comparison of Alexandria House Arabian Horse, the side-by-side of Parfums de Herod. Stay tuned and see how they both match up. Hello, welcome back. Yes, this has been boiling over for quite a while now. The side-by-side of Parfums de Herod versus the Alexandria fragrances, the Clone House, copies, inspirations and stuff. It's called Arabian Horse. So I've gone through a few samples of this one, and I haven't had a full bottle of Herod before, but I've had a few samples, and I've got this like little 30ml decant for cost things. So I've been putting together a kind of a comparison thing. So just I've been looking at the notes here, and the notes are pretty much exactly the same. So on both of them, they're both cinnamon. On the top end, there's cinnamon, cinnamon, pepperwood or pepper, tobacco leaf. The difference in the middle note is that the Herod has incense, where the horse has alabama. So it's tobacco, osmanthus, alabama in this one, incense in this one, osmanthus and labdanum. And then the base notes, the horse has vanilla, patchouli, vetiver, musk and cedar, whereas the Herod has vanilla, it's got isoe super in it, musk, cedar, it's got cypre oil and vetiver. So they're pretty much meat. They're pretty much very close anyway. So I've done like kind of a side-by-side comparison, because I've done this over time when I've been wearing them side by side, and it's a great. I'll start off by saying it's a great scent. It's really good. It's rich. It's got this kind of tobacco, although there's no fruit in it. It's like a dark, deep tobacco with fruit in it. For me personally, it's quite versatile fragrance, because it has this kind of classy, rich. It's not something which is in your face, and it doesn't like, it's not screechy or anything along those lines. So it's a very, very nice, deep, rich, fruity tobacco fragrance, and I find that it's versatile even in good weather, like hot weather. I'm finding this isn't just like a cold weather scent, and it applies for both of them pretty much. So we'll go for side-by-side comparison. So presentation wise, I would say that I don't have the original box for Herod, obviously, but this is kind of what the Alexandria comes in. So it comes in this nice kind of case like that with a lid on it, and yeah, that's how it comes. It's like a velvety thing in there. I don't think it's velvet, but yeah, it's a pretty good presentation. The bottle is quite nice, nice heavy glass, got a bit of weight in the bottom there, with a kind of I don't know whether it's proper wood, but whatever it is, I think it might be like a wood or a woods. I think it is wood. As far as the Herod goes, I haven't had the original bottle, so I can't really give it a mark based on what I have. But from what I've seen on there, I would say the Herod is a score out of 10. I would say it's an 8 for presentation, for the box and stuff. And I would say, give it Alexandria, I would say a 7. So I'm marking Alexandria down a little bit, because I think the Herod has a better bottle and a better presentation. So the both, I would say that it's a male. Ultimately, I would say that it's a male fragrance. I wouldn't say that it's particularly unisex, although I'm sure some women would probably really like this scent, especially the like a dark, fruity kind of tobacco scent. Uniqueness score-wise, I would say I score them both a 9. The side-by-side comparison goes along the lines of they both have very similar scent, so I'm going to go with 9 with it. It's something which there's not a lot of scents out there which I've smelt anyway, which is is as nice, not as unique. I've smelled stuff which is much uniquer, but I'll say for my you know, for what I think, I say 9. I really like it. I think it is unique, and it's something which I really enjoy. So the opening, when you're both sprayed on, they're both similar. I'm going to say the Herod is definitely about a 9 for the opening. The opening on it, it's just got a slight better, less confusing opening. I'm going to say that the horse has an opening of 8. I'm going to mark it down a point, because it's just, the Herod has just an edge in the opening. It does have a slightly better quality to it when it first opens up. The dry down, both are 9 on the dry down. I've got to say that they're both really, really good, and hats off to Alexandria for the dry down on this, because it's almost identical. There's, you know, as it dries down in your skin, it is so close. It's 95%, if not higher than 95%. Very, very similar. I mean, if you sprayed them, it would be very, very difficult to distinguish which one is which. Longevity, both really, really good longevity. I'm going to go for a 9 on longevity as well. That's for both of them. It was funny when I wore it yesterday to kind of try them out again, and I put them on in the morning about 10 o'clock. And what I was finding with the Alexandria, about 2 hours in, I'm going to say that it seemed to be performing better a couple of hours into the actual fragrance, and then 2, 3, 4, 5 hours in, where the original seemed to be kind of just dying off a little. The fruit was dying down on it, becoming more subtle, where the Alexandria was still flipping, banging away like. And then a strange thing happened after about 5 or 6 hours. The Herod started coming back, like kind of almost rejuvenating itself. It was like, I was like kind of going, what's this? So I've got to give them both a 9. The Alexandria midterm performance, and for how it smells, just pips the Herod a little bit, but overall longevity, they've got to both be 9, because they're both really, really exceptional. I mean, it was still on my skin. It was still on my skin 8-9 hours later. Really, really good. Projection off the skin, it's not as good as what the longevity is, so they both get an 8 for that. They're both very similar for the projection off the skin. You can smell it coming off the skin. Probably, I would say, about 2 to 3 hours into the fragrance, and it dies down a little bit after that and becomes a nice, you know, a roundy kind of scent, not projecting too far off, you like, but still really, really good. So an 8 for both of them. Authenticness, I like the kind of term authenticness, because this authenticness to me is the term of how real the actual scent smells, like how kind of how do I feel it's how realistic it is, how it makes it, like, we say authenticness is like kind of top authenticness is like less synthetic. That's not that synthetics a particularly bad thing, but I like the term authenticness, which you spray it on and it feels like it's an authentic fragrance. It's been designed to smell like that, you know. So horse gets an 8 and Herod gets a 9. So I'm going to mark the Herod a point, just a point up, because it's just got a point's worth more of. It's not. I wouldn't say it's not richness, but slight in terms of quality. And if I'm taking in the opening as well, I've got to factor that in for the opening. So I'll say authenticness. I'd say Herod 9, and the horse, I would say it's got to be an 8. Still though, tops off to Hani Hafez, who does the fragrances. He's done a brilliant job on the Alexandria one. Like, so the last score which I've done is the value for money. So how I worked it out, I tried to find the best prices. Obviously, you can only get the Alexandria one from Alexandria Fragrances, and that comes out at £55 for 100ml. So it works out if you buy like £55 for 100ml. No, it's £55 for 55ml. So yeah, anyway, it works for 100ml. It works out it's like 92 pence per milliliter. So I've worked it out that way. And then the cheapest I could find, Herod, £1.44 per milliliter. That's what you're going to kind of pay for. That's how I kind of worked out the value for it. So which one kind of wins for value? I mean, if you want, there's like a 50 pence difference in the per milliliters that you actually pay for it. So it's a tricky one really, because it just depends on the Alexandria Arabian Horse is such a good clone of the Herod that depending on how much you can buy Herod for, if you can get it at a discount, so if you can see it on sale or something, and if you can get it close to that like £100 for 100 milliliters for this, if you can get it close to there, then it might be obviously worth considering. So you get the bottle and you get the, you get the prestige of having the, the nice box and the nice bottle and all that kind of stuff. And you've got the original scent, obviously. But as far as, it just depends on how much you're willing to go down in value, I suppose. Not down value, sorry, down how, like, kind of, if you want to pay £180 for the 125ml, then I would really think that, personally, I'm going to say that the horse, Alexandria one, is obviously better value for money. I know you don't get the original scent, but you get a very, very good clone, copy, inspiration, whatever you want to call it, for, like I said, £100 for 100ml, or £35 for 30ml. I think it's £55 for 55ml or something along those lines, of 50ml. So yeah, so I mean, a kind of the value for money wise, I mean that the Alexandria one is very good value for money. If you can get the Herod down to going closer to that price, then it's, it's horses for courses. Really, it depends on which one what kind of bottle you want. It might just boil down to the bottle, or I want the original, or something along those lines, and then that's fair enough, isn't it? But so people who are on a budget, and who want something which is pretty, I mean, I've only pointed down on a couple of them. It's something definitely worth considering. So yeah, that's me side by side for Parfums de Molly Herod, side by side with Alexandria Fragrances Arabian Horse. Both really, really good, very, very similar indeed, and definitely worth checking out. It can work any time of the year. This is, very nice going out scent as well, for sure. Very classy, very mature, very kind of something which will make you feel good, make you feel $1,000,000, Right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.